yourself. Do not fail your family. Now the time has come for you to prove.
All right, before we start this review, I have to tell you that somehow the end of this recording mysteriously disappeared. However, the good news is that we talked enough to give you a general idea of what we thought about the film. So go ahead and listen, and at the end I'll come back in and wrap up and tell you what our ratings were. Finally, we get back to some good old-fashioned ninjas, you know, the kind of ninjas where you don't even see them coming, you don't hear them, and the next thing you know, you just melt in a pile of blood and bone.
Can you really call them old-fashioned ninjas when they have that big of a budget and CG blood flying all over the place?
Yeah, I was going to say, these are the least old-fashioned ninjas I've ever seen. I mean, to be fair, they're running on some pretty crappy computers, but they are definitely ninjas of the future nonetheless.
Yeah, this is Ninja Assassin.
Oh,
Yeah,
you took that,
We
did you?
Yeah.
Well, that I'm actually.
I wish I
kinda-
could disagree.
Well, you know, I'm actually kind of there with you. I'm actually kind of sad by saying that these are old-fashioned ninjas because these are the kick-ass ninjas you want to see. I mean, really, they're ghosts. I mean, they're not even ninjas anymore. They're like monsters now.
But that's also one of the problems of the film that we'll get to later. But James McTeague, who directed this, he's the guy who did V for Vendetta. This was produced by the Wachowskis. James McTeague did it. He wanted to make an old-fashioned 80s ninja movie with modern day big budget A-list money, and ended up screwing up because by treating his ninjas like monsters, and at the end of the film, we've got guys running around beating ninjas with floodlights, and it just becomes so lame and boring that by the end of the film, you're just yawning and waiting for it to end.
Open that gate.
I can't do that. Go to infrared, boys.
They're already in the room. Make it hurry. Mika, I don't want to sound critical.
Look, I'm doing the best I can.
We don't have much time.
This has a classic problem, is that the best part of this movie is the first 10 minutes.
Yes.
They build up the legend of ninja and do it in such a way that doesn't make you scared. It's got, you know, I think of like the first scene in Blade where they build up the tension, and then the ninjas come in and it's awesome and it's bloody and you're like, holy shit. But it never gets any better than that.
Well, the opening scene feels a lot like that sequence in The Professional where, you know, we don't quite see Leon and he's just kind of moving around and killing everybody.
Yeah.
But you think that's what he's going for, and then you just find out that James McTeague doesn't know how to pull the camera back far enough to show the action, and all the action is claustrophobic and you can't see what the fuck is going on.
Which was one of the problems with V for Vendetta, was that the action sequences are where it was at its weakest. And here, it's all action sequences, which normally would be a good thing, except it seems clear he doesn't know how to film them. He certainly doesn't know how to film the results of them, which, as mentioned, was CG blood, CG blood, CG blood. I mean, terabytes and terabytes of the stuff.
Dude, you totally forgot about the CG blood.
I did. You're right. Thanks for reminding me.
So did they, because the CG blood never hits the ground.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah, it doesn't splatter on walls. It just evaporates in the air. You
I mean,
know?
his influences are clear. I mean, one, a lot of the anime where it's just got ridiculous amounts of splatter gore,
Yeah.
which in and of itself, I think, was influenced by that Lone Wolf and Cub adaptations that were, Samurai Assassin, right?
Yeah.
Isn't that the name of that series? Where that was what they did, except it was all practical and it looked cool.
Sure.
It's like when you stab somebody, it was a geyser of blood, but they were
Yeah.
using like real practical effects. It's like, okay, that's fake, but at the same time, it's fun. Here, you can't help but notice that this looks like it was made on a Commodore 64.
Yeah, no, that's the thing. And the CG blood ruins it because it's a cool setup. I mean, because the ninjas are really scary in the beginning. Like, they got a guy who, like, sit up there saying, you know, like an old master, like, oh, I remember the mark of the ninja when they, kablam, you know, he just explodes, you know, it's just like, you know, his hand is still moving and shit, but he's gone. It's like, fuck, these ninjas are not fucking around in this movie. And that's what we've been looking for, the time we find ninjas scary again. But
Then they start fucking around in this movie.
and then they start fucking around in this movie. Well, the other thing that makes it kind of intense is like, okay, it's not scary, but they show you the actual cruel training of what it's like to be a ninja. I mean, they in the film, they kidnap orphans, bring them into this orphanage, and they just beat the shit out these kids to make them ninjas. I mean, you know why they do what they can do, because if you don't, you're going to get your ass beat. You perfect what you got to do.
And the thing is, what they show them doing ain't much different than what they do in the Chinese opera anyway.
Yeah, that's true. It is kind of like the Peking
Ask
opera.
Jackie Chan. That's pretty much what his growing up was like. Yeah.
But what's sad is that there's this great film out there. If you've never seen it, it's called Azumi. It's really awesome, and it kind of follows that same concept of this cruel training in youth. But Azumi has this emotional hit to it where there's all these great sequences in the training where they make the kids do fucked up things. And here, where they try to hint at what's fucked up about their training, you're just kind of like, really? That's it? That's what makes you a ninja?
I don't know, man. I mean, there's scenes where, like, the main character in the movie is played by
Rain.
pop star Rain.
Chocolate Rain.
No, this is more like yellow custard Rain.
Yeah, there you go. There it is. There's the offensive statement.
Yellow custard rain.
Custard Rain.
No, custard Rain.
Lemon ice.
but no, and he's actually one of the better parts in the movie. I mean, we laugh because we hear it's the Japanese pop star Rain, whatever. But no, he's actually really cool. But we get to see him as a young boy in the movie.
Isn't he Korean?
Is he Korean?
I think the thing is he's Korean playing a Japanese martial artist,
Okay,
which was one of the problems with the that people have had with the film, and that why are you having a Korean play a Japanese man?
Okay, I always thought he was a Japanese pop star. I'm sorry, but whatever he is.
I think I'm not 100% sure, but I think he's Korean.
But
Can we all agree that we don't care?
Yeah, I don't
exactly.
care.
At this point, it doesn't matter. Shit. Like, we can tell.
There's enough wrong with this film already that I'm like, yeah, really, at that point, who gives a
You
shit?
see, I don't want to piss off the Asian people, but once you grow your hair a certain length, we can't tell. So,
Oh, yeah, it's the way I can't tell the difference between you and Leon. Is that what you mean?
If I was to grow an afro, would you really know the difference?
Which people still confuse us anyway.
People do. Hey, Cora, I love it.
Let's just say that's because it's like, oh, it's the black guy who's on Spill. That's all they know about you.
Which one?
That guy said he's from Spill. He must be Court.
Oh, you know that black on Spill? Which one? There's two of them. But no, in this movie, they show Rain as a little boy being trained in this orphanage, and his master's cruel. I mean, he beats his feet to their bleeding. But it's like Jesus, man.
Except you can't ever emotionally connect with any of those.
Well,
Yes.
they don't. Most training. There's a fine tradition of training starting off that way and then eventually getting to where they're like this badass in these type of films. And that doesn't never congeals in here. All you see is this guy being a douche, and it never really feels like you're growing with him, like you're getting exciting for him as he gets better.
That's what I was going to lead up to. It's like we see this kid getting beat, and they got me at that point. I'm like, wow, they're treating this kid like shit. I can't wait for him to come back mad and pissed off and burn all these motherfuckers down. But they just skip time, and it's like, what happened? Why is he so angry again?
We need a montage.
Yeah.
And yet, what's important to note is this isn't the plot of the film. This is the subplot. Because the plot of the film is about some superfluous Interpol agent who's like tracking down the mysterious art of the ninja.
And that's what really ruins the movie. Once you bring in like Interpol and all the military coming in and trying to fight the ninjas, that is
With floodlights.
with floodlights and guns, and that's not only is that ridiculous and it takes away because the ninja's supposed to be more mysterious than that. They're not going to wage all out war.
It
on the army.
requires that the ninjas not be as badass as they were earlier. You know what I mean? It's like this inconsistency with how killable they are. That's glaring.
Well, what's the thing. The ninjas, they train for darkness. They spend so much time training for darkness that once you shine a light, they don't know what to do. They're like cockroaches in the kitchen.
And that's when ninjas came in and attacked us in the hopes of preventing us from giving you our ratings for this movie. But goddamn it, I survived and I lived to come back and tell you what we really thought. Of course, you probably don't need me because you heard what we were saying and you probably have figured it out already. This movie is good looking, some good ideas, but in the end, no real emotional impact. And it just got really goofy with all the CG blood and the ninjas versus Interpol and the army type nonsense. So even trained ninja assassins could not stop us from unanimously giving this movie a rental. To hell with these ninjas. What the hell was that? No, wait.
You know about them? They won't stop until you're dead. Go now.